When September Ends by Green Day. It's a really nice way to get into picking. It's got some nice new chord shapes, and it's a really easy song to start with as well. So let's have a look at what our fretting hand is doing first of all. Let me guide you through the shapes, and you'll also be able to see the diagrams showing you the new chords, like the new way to play G, for example. So make sure you got a copy of the PDF with you, and if you don't, let me know. I'll send it to you or email it to you. But let's get on to what our fretting hand is going to be doing. Our first chord, which is simply a new version of G, is going to start with your first finger on the second string, third fret, and ring finger on the fifth fret of the fourth string. Now you're going to pluck strings 4, 3, 2, 4, 3, 2, and then you're going to wait. Now just to show you the picking pattern quickly, you'll notice I'm using a pick for this one over here, and you can see it's really just quite easy, downstrokes the whole way through. It's played a bit slowly and at full speed. And for those that don't like using a plectrum, you're welcome to use your fingers too. You can do something like this. And to break it down easier, you'll notice I'm using my thumb for the fourth string, first finger for the third string, which is open, and then middle finger for the second string, and I'm simply repeating that pattern: thumb, first finger, second finger, thumb, first, second. And in context, and what I'd also like you to observe is that my pinky is actually resting on the body of the guitar. But I'm going to go back to pick now. We're going to focus once more onto our fretting hand. We got our first chord, the G, followed through by G with an F sharp, and all that happens there is finger one hasn't moved yet. You lose the ring finger and bring the middle finger, finger number 2, as you can see they're clearly labeled, onto the fourth fret of the fourth string. So we're going to have this. So if you put the first two chords together, we're going to have as simple as that. Now for the next shape, there is more than one way to play it. I like using fingers 2 and 3 like this. But you can also do 1 and 3 or 1 and 2, whichever combination works for you, I'm happy with. But either way, you need to have one of the fingers on the second fret of the fourth string, and then another finger on the third fret of the second string. And remember to keep the third, your G3 string, open. So make sure this doesn't happen. Hear the dead note? We don't want that. So just make sure your finger's nice and bent. You can see from that angle there, my finger's nice and bent. There it touches, there it's clear. And we got that chord. Fourth chord, the G with the D bass, super easy. Simply just lose the fourth string fret. And if you put the four chords together, and we show both left and right hand working together, we'd end up with something like this. That's the first four chords. Okay, and like I said, you can use fingers, picks going down, and you can do this as well. Notice that with the fingers the sound is slightly more gentle, slightly less harsh. Obviously the plastic on the string gives a bit more of a harder sound, which could sound better depending what you like. Okay, enough talking, on to the next chord. We're looking at the C shape, which is sort of like a normal C chord, which I'm sure you're all familiar with, but we don't need the third finger down. So you've only got first finger on the second string and finger 2 on the fourth string for your C chord, because remember, for this song, for the picking, we're not using that string, string 6 or string 5 or string 1. Everything is taking place on the fourth, third and second strings. That's your C shape. When you go from there to the C minor, You can either slide it back like this, which I find a little bit uncomfortable, or you can swap those two fingers around, so you can have it like that, or you can even use fingers 2 and 3 again, whichever combination works for you. But either ways, you need to have one of your fingers on the first fret, 4th string. Make sure the second is still clear, so the 3rd string is still clean, and then your 3rd finger on the 2nd string, 1st fret. That's for the C minor, and after that you go back to the G shape. I'm going to take you through now all the chords, showing both left and right hands. And maybe you'd like to play through with me. 1, 2, 3, 4, and... Now, on the first verse, you play that G at the end twice. But on the second verse, before he changes to the E minor in the chorus, he does this. You'll notice there's 8 notes for the bar, not 6. Normally we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 notes. But for that G1, and I've got there next to G/F sharp, you're going to have 8 notes, because halfway through, or 3/4 way through rather, we're going to go from the G to the G with the F sharp, and it should be just 2 notes there. But the tab is on the PDF as well, so if you get stuck, let me know. But just to break it down one more time, we're going to go string wise 4, 3, 2, 4, 3, 2, 4, 2, and then to the E minor. Now the song itself is sort of pretty straightforward with the picking side. You should have that for sort of in place by now. And then halfway through, if you listen to the original, you'll hear there is an electric guitar that comes in with a lot of overdrive, a lot of distortion, and plays some really cool power chords, something like this. But I'm first going to focus in onto my fretting hand to show you the power chords. Here we go, the power chord shapes. There are more than one way to play it. You can play fingers 1 and 3, or 1 and pinky, or you can even do this. But that's only for the root note on the E string. I'm not going to go too much in that, and I'm going to go for this because it works well. So for your chorus, your E is going to go, the B's simply above it. Then you're going to go through to C, 1 fret up, and then you're going to have the G crossing over to G sharp again. So while the acoustic still does that whole picking thing, we're going to go, and you can hear that nice shape there when the first finger moves back. It's a very dissonant chord by itself, but it leads very nice to the E minor. So when you go 1 and 2 and 3, but let's put the whole thing together, and we're going to power chord the chorus as we said. So E minor becomes an E5, B minor becomes a B5, C stays C5, G is going to be G5, and then that F, G with the F sharp bass simply goes there. There's G, G with the F sharp bass. Now you can play G here, but this can also work. I just prefer the higher register, the octave higher. This sounds cool for me personally. Either way for the purists, I'm not too sure if it goes high or low, but I like the high one. Okay. Anyway, let's look at left and right hands and put the whole chorus together. Using downstrokes the whole way through, starting with the E5 power chord, and we're going to go E, B, C, G, G with the F sharp, E, B, C, and end on the D. Let's go. 1, 2, 3, 4, and... a simple song to play, but it's a very powerful, very deep song. Watch the video, it's quite interesting as well. And what sounds quite cool is if you've got a friend that's playing acoustic and you're playing electric, maybe you can do the power chords while he's doing the clear part. So while they may be doing something which could sound like this over here, you can maybe go power chord over this. There's the E minor, and you can actually power chord it. Sorry, made a mistake with the B minor there. There's the B minor chord. So taking you through the chorus for the picking, E minor, minor, then we're going to go to the C again, and you've got the changeover, back to E minor, B minor, to C, and the D. So I've got two new shapes here, the B minor, which I'm going to show you just quickly. B minor sort of looks like A minor. I'm sure you're used to A minor, and you simply go 1, 2 frets up. There's your B minor, and then it goes to the D, which is basically, there's a normal D, but you don't need the middle finger. So you can just do that if you want to. So if you want to take it to the chorus, just want me to get familiar with it. What's the finger movements? I like the middle finger for the E minor because it means I can slide up with the middle finger to the B minor. I can then slide down to the C, and this makes my transitions a lot easier for the chorus part. So here's the picking part while your friend's doing the overdrive. Here it goes. 2, 3, 4, and... nice and easy the whole way through. You should have everything you need now for basically Wake Me Up When September Ends. It's a really cool song to play. If you've got any questions, please drop me a WhatsApp. Otherwise, have an awesome week. Take care.